Hey everybody, welcome to your art class. Okay, so last week or a couple weeks ago, we talked about two-dimensional shapes and how you took those two-dimensional shapes and made them into a house. You added a sun, the triangle was your rooftop. And what I mean by two-dimensional shapes is that they're flat. Okay, anything that's flat would be a two-dimensional shape. Once you turn it into, let's say, a box that has sides, a top and a bottom, now that's considered a three-dimensional shape. Okay, so what we're going to do today is basically learn how to draw these three-dimensional shapes and then turn that into a city. So instead of being in like a suburb where we were had the house with the fence, now we're in the city with signs and tall buildings. So we're going to take these three-dimensional shapes and turn them into artwork. This is what I mean by three-dimensional shapes. This is what we're going to learn to draw today. So we're going to concentrate on drawing our city, adding all our details, making our artwork original, and then next week we will start coloring. All right, so I'm going to close this out so you guys can see me drawing in the process. And like I always say, just watch the video first and then go back in and do it yourself afterwards. Okay, so the first thing I want to do in my city before I add my three-dimensional shape is draw a ground. So I'm going to draw with a marker because you can see it better, but please always draw with your pencil on your paper. So make sure you get a pencil and paper. Okay, so I'm just going to draw one line going straight across. And this is basically going to be my ground. And on top of my ground, I'm going to start drawing my three-dimensional shapes. So the first shape I'm going to add is a rectangle. And I'm going to go as high as I think the building looks. Okay. And hopefully you guys can see this pretty good. And after I drew the rectangle, I'm going to add these little lines that are at an angle. Okay. I'm going to do 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. They're on the corner. And these lines are not straight. Okay. These lines are going upward. All the same way. Then afterwards, I'm going to just connect all these lines. Okay, so what I did here was I drew a three-dimensional shape and giving the illusion that it's coming out of our paper. Okay, but it's not really coming out of the paper. And so I'm going to do this shape again to add a second building. Now, depending on your paper, you might be able to draw 3 or 4 buildings. Just because I decided to use my paper this way in portrait style, you could go long ways, which is landscape. All right, so after I drew the rectangle, then I'm gonna add my little lines. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the last step is connecting everything together. All right. So then now how do we make these shapes into buildings? We have to add certain details, right? We need windows, we need doors. So that's what we're going to add next. Add some doors. I drew some really big doors. You don't have to do that. Maybe I'll do it like this. Okay, and then some windows. And again, I'm doing this with a marker because it's gonna, you can see it better. If I drew it with a pencil, you wouldn't be able to see what I was drawing. Okay, but then here you guys are able to start adding all the details that you want into your artwork. So like, I don't know, I think I'm gonna make it nighttime in my artwork. Instead of, last time we had the sun out, maybe this time I want the moon to shine. All right, so now you take this artwork and make it original, make it yours. What are you going to add to it that's going to make it special? Okay, so finish that up, and then next week we'll work on coloring it. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.